Welcome to the Starting Over Podcast training series. I am your host, Edward Shelton, aka Dark Logos. In this episode, we are going to be looking at Close Combat Expert. Close Combat Expert is pretty much a very nuanced power, mainly for the fact that you have to get into a very close situation. You can't use charge or hypersonic speed in using it. And so you can get +2 off for your melee attack damage. So it's going to be a little bit more complicated with Close Combat Expert than Range Combat Expert, and the practicing for it is going to be a little bit more strange than some other parts in the training series. So just bear with me. All right, Close Combat Expert. Give this character a power action. It makes a close combat attack against a single opposing character. Modify this character's damage value by +2 for the attack. Now, Close Combat Expert allows you to get +2 to your damage when you do a close combat attack, but at the same time, you have to really be mindful that since you can't charge or hypersonic speed into it, you have to really be placed. And so you have to ask yourself the following question: what am I going to do to ensure that I'm going to get that Close Combat Expert attack off? And so I would have to say your number one power that you want to combine with Close Combat Expert is, bear with me, charge, indomitable, or willpower. And if you can't get indomitable or willpower, close combat reflexes. Okay, you definitely need those powers. Other than that, you're not going to survive most of the time to get it off. Now, telekinesis in a taxi flyer is another method of doing that, of getting into position. But for your own survivability's sake, you definitely need. You definitely need charge and willpower. Okay, so like I said, this is going to be a lot more complicated. Our main thing with Close Combat Expert is if we are not in position now, next turn, no matter what, we are going to push to use Close Combat Expert unless our opponent is also pushed. Okay, so let me say that again. The first turn we are going to attack, get into position, and the next turn, unless our opponent is pushed, we are going to push to attack. Okay? Now, you might say, well, that is a very aggressive strategy, Dark Logos. Why? What's up with that? Explain and break this down. All right, let's take, for example, we have some figure. It's charge, blades, claws, fangs. Let's say we have willpower, Close Combat Expert, 2 damage. Okay? So we have this figure, and we have a good movement, we have a good attack, we charge, we blaze claws fangs. We do 4 damage with blaze claws fangs. We celebrate. Okay, our opponent's been mauled. They're still alive. And they're still, they're probably about mid-dial. What are we going to do to finish them off? Do we risk doing another blaze claws fangs? Not really. That we could roll a 1. And it's not worth it. Oh, but we're based to our opponent now. Bam! We can sock them for 4 damage. And that will kill them. Oh, yeah. Right there. Okay, so we want the willpower so that we can push and not take that pushing damage. And we want to stay on that top dial as best as we can. But we're never going to get in a position unless we have some weird special power that's going to allow us to charge or use hypersonic speed in Close Combat Expert. Just not going to happen. Just for the pure fact that we have to use a power action. So having telekinesis, we can get our Close Combat Expert figure TK'd up. They can boom, punch them in the throat, and that can be great as well. But most of the time, we're really not going to use TK like that. And if we do have TK on our team, we're most likely not going to TK around our Close Combat Expert person. We're going to be TKing our running shotter or hypersonic speeder or our support. Really, the Close Combat Expert piece is really going to be the last one on our list. So we really want to think about a taxi. some other figure that's going to be in combat that can fly our close combat figure up into position so that the next turn, boom, they can lay the smackdown on the jabroni, to quote The Rock. Okay? So just think about that. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to invest at minimum 120 points in a close combat expert figure in a 500-point game, and then figure out how that close combat expert figure is not going to land just one, not two, but 3 solid attacks with close combat expert. You have not successfully passed the training unless that figure has done 3 successful close combat expert attacks. No, they can't carry an object and then use close combat expert and then have that count. No, they have to do close combat expert. They have to use that power. Okay? So that's pretty much it. I appreciate you listening, and I will see you in the next video.